everyone, it's Lizzie Vapes. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a drill with me, and I was going to do a tag, but then I decided I was going to do, since it's the eve of Halloween, and Halloween is going to be on Thursday, I thought I would do my spooky Canadian stories that I was going to do on my live, but it never happened. I ended up talking about my adventures at Custerman's farm, the corn maze, and I'm having malfunctions over here. But I thought I would do some of them for today's drill with me. I'm hoping to have this done by Halloween. That is my goal. I don't know if the goal is going to be met, but I'm going to try my darn hardest for the next 3 days to get this painting done. So I thought I would do my drill with me with this painting today to try to get some of it out. And then I'll work on something else. Well, I got to get that Victorious Moon done. Yes, I said it. I got to get it done. But anyway, so the first story I'm going to tell you is about I'll look it up because, you know, I don't memorize all this stuff. And I had it up and then it disappeared. So while I'm trying to figure this out, everybody get their whips out. Maybe if I went onto the website, I would figure it out better. Or should I do? Yeah, I'm going to do this one first. So there's one place that I've always wanted to go. And I watched actually a documentary about it on, there used to be a show like the most haunted places in Canada. I used to love that show. I don't know whatever happened to that show. But this was featured as one of the haunted places in Canada. And I've always wanted to go, but I have not yet. And it is the Niagara Falls Scream Tunnel. Now, I've heard of it. I have not gone there. I have not seen it. Would I brave to go there at midnight? I don't know. I don't know if I would brave it or not. But the legend is, it's called the Scream Tunnel. I'm just going to skim through this. It's a 125-foot long passageway, was originally constructed in the early 1900s as a path for railroad carts. Today, it stretches beneath train lines that connect to Niagara Falls, to Toronto, and to New York. So it's like a tunnel underneath like the train tracks, I'm pretty sure. That's what they're saying. According to local legend, if you enter the tunnel after midnight and light a match, the flame will mysteriously extinguish while screaming of a young female rings in your ears. Now, ain't that crazy? Could you imagine? Could you imagine hearing that? This unsettling paranormal activity is reported connecting to a death of a young girl who was set ablaze inside the tunnel. So according to the legend, some young girl was like set on fire in the tunnel. So when you light a match and it blows out, you hear the screams. It's probably the screams of her on fire, right? So I'm pretty sure there is a tour in Niagara Falls that you can take of the most haunted places, because that's not the only haunted place in Niagara Falls. I know in Niagara on the Lake, there's a lot of haunted places because I've seen it on that show too. There's actually an inn that's haunted by a soldier, and I'm pretty sure there is, but I don't know the name of it, so don't quote me. I'm pretty sure there is like an old military fort kind of thing around Niagara on the Lake too that they say is haunted. I'm pretty sure not Fort McMurray. There's a fort somewhere outside of Kingston. Is it Fort McMurray? That sounds like a place. I don't think that's the name of it. Oh, I wish I had looked it up. But there is one in Kingston that I have actually gone to that they say is haunted. But I didn't know it was haunted till after I had the tour of the place. And it was one time when I went to Montreal or in Quebec, one of them on the way back, we went on a tour of this fort in Kingston. Kingston is just like not too far from Ottawa. And Ottawa for me is about a 6-hour drive. Yeah, it's pretty far. So I thought that was a really interesting story. And then I have another one that I can talk about. Yeah, so Niagara Falls is supposed to be one of the scariest, most haunted places like around this area. So they say. I know they have haunted tours that you can take, but I have not been. But that's maybe something the next time I go to Niagara Falls I should look into. My friends actually this weekend, and I couldn't go. I was kind of disappointed about it. I guess there was like a Halloween convention going on in Niagara Falls where it had like all the stunt stuff and everything for scary movies, and I'm pretty sure the guy that played Jason was there and everything. And my friends all went, and they're all dressed up for Halloween in Niagara Falls. I bet you they had a blast of a time. But I could not go because I worked this weekend. Story of my life. My friends all have fun, and I'm stuck at work. That's usually how it goes. Nothing ever falls on the weekends I'm off. It always falls on the weekends I have to work. And right now I don't have any vacation time till the new year. So I couldn't even take it off as a vacation time to go. So that was kind of a bummer, because we could have probably have done that haunted tour while we were down there. That would have been cool to do, especially at this time of the year. But anywho, that's the Niagara Falls Tunnel, which someday I am going to go there. The next one is kind of like a little story, and it's about Peggys Cove. Now, Peggys Cove is in Nova Scotia, Canada. I've never been there. I've heard Nova Scotia is beautiful. It's by the ocean, obviously, Nova Scotia. I don't know. Guess you wouldn't know that unless you're from Canada. But this is like a little legend. It's the site of the famous Peggys Point Lighthouse in Nova Scotia is said to be haunted by a ghost of a woman named who took her own life in the 1800s. According to the legend, the woman, whose name was Margaret, was a survivor of a shipwreck that killed her children, and in her grief would often wander the rocks of the edge of the sea. One day her husband, in an attempt to cheer her up, was dancing on the rocks, slipped and suffered a fatal head wound. Shortly after his death, she took her own life by jumping into the sea at the spot where he died. Today, there are reports of a mystery lady in blue who looks posed to jump into the ocean. When someone tries to help, she disappears. Now, wouldn't that freak you right out? That would freak me out. That would freak me out. And now there's sirens happening outside. What a spooky time for the sirens to go off when I'm telling the legend of Margaret in Peggys Cove Lighthouse, which sounds like a very interesting place to visit. Now I wonder, would you only see her trying to jump off the rocks during the nighttime, or would she be there during the day? That's what I've always wondered too. Like, I'm not a very big believer in ghosts, but I want to believe in ghosts. But I don't know if I would say I am, because I've never seen a ghost. So maybe that's why I'm not too much of a believer in a ghost. I don't know. And are ghosts just like, don't you notice that all ghost stories happen when it's something happened tragically to somebody? Not just like, is that when you're only a ghost? When your body is trapped because you died unexpectedly? Or died from an injury or something? I don't know. Makes you wonder. At least it makes me wonder. And then in Toronto, now known as Regis College in Toronto, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, the Christie Mansion was the home to the very same Mr. Christie of You Make Good Cookies fame. While William Christie died, a successful businessman, his son Robert, who inherited the Christie Mansion, was another story. This guy sounds like somebody I would date. Robert, you see, decided to set up a secret chamber in the mansion of his house for his mistress, who lived there secretly for years until Robert's affections for her was no more. Well, don't we all know that would happen? Right? And legend has it. Oh no, wait. Okay. His affections wore off for her, and she hung herself. So she hung herself in this wing, the secret chamber thing that he made for her. She hung herself. I'm not doing very good. I should have just read it. Legend has it that if you enter room 29 by yourself at night, the door will swing shut at its own accord, and you will be trapped, just like Robert Christie's mistress. Could you imagine? That would freak me out. If the door slammed and I couldn't get out of a room, I would be freaking out. Like, if it's a college, I wonder what room 29 is. Is it a dorm room? Like, I don't know. Maybe I should have did more research on this. I've never heard of the Christie Mansion before until I saw this on here. But yeah, so those are a few of my stories that I wanted to tell you about Canada. There's a lot more. I could go on for hours and hours. I was going to talk about, on my live, I was going to talk about the Donnellys, which is a family. Gee, I don't know all the facts, so I'm pretty sure it was the 1800s, and they lived in Lucan, Ontario, which is pretty close to me. And they were pretty much massacred by the town people. So the town came and killed them all. And when I heard the stories, like way back when, everybody said it was about witchcraft, but really it wasn't about witchcraft. What it was about was the father, the Donnelly father, had a feud. So when they came to Canada or whatever, they all settled in Lucan, but they didn't pay for their land. They kind of like squatted there. And then when time went by and the government started forming, they're like, okay, you got to like pay for your land and you share it with another neighbor. Well, him and the other neighbor got in a big feud about this land, and they ended up fighting, and during the fight, he accidentally killed him. I think he pushed him too hard and he killed him, so he ended up getting like 7 years in jail over this crime, which the people of Lucan thought it was too harsh. He didn't get, because I guess back then they would hang people, because like in Canada, there is no death penalty anymore. But back then there was. And he didn't get that, but he got 7 years in jail. And the people of Lucan, I think, thought he got off too easy. And they ended up that night killing 5 members of the Donnelly family on the Donnelly farm. They set the farm on fire. And to this day, there is a man that used to live in Strathroy. He used to be a teacher at Strathroy High School. He owns it, and he does tours on the farm with the little legend and everything, and apparently says that the barn is haunted. Whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. But I think you can I think you can pay to spend the night, if you dare spend the night in the barn. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. I'm pretty sure my friend said it was. I've always wanted to go to that too, but I have not made it there yet to go visit, to see it. My friend Mo has gone, but I have not gone. There's actually was a movie made not too long ago about the Black Donnellys. But yeah. There's a TV show called The Black Donnellys, but I'm pretty sure it's not the same Black Donnellys that the ones in Lucan. But yeah. I've always wanted to go there and see, and to this day nobody really knows where their actual plot is, because I think the original one got, or they have a new one up because the original one was vandalized. And to this day, nobody from Lucan has been charged with their murders. So, yeah. It's crazy when you go around, like, people are like, oh yeah, Lucan, the place where the town people kill the whole family. It's craziness. Yeah. But that is my other story of around here. Where I live, there's no ghost stories or no hauntings. Except my kids think my house is haunted. I live in my parents' old home. No, my parents didn't die here though. This is why I think my kids are crazy. Well, when my mom was still alive, there was one incident. And my daughter Sarah, she had to have been maybe 3 or 4. And maybe 3. It was like after my father passed away, and me and my mom were down in the basement, because back when my parents, well, when my mom had this house, there was a kitchen downstairs. Since then, I have torn the kitchen out, and we just use the kitchen upstairs because it was always cold down there, whatever. Then I made bedrooms down there, and then a flood happened and it all got destroyed. So now it's just a big old open basement with everything ripped out that I had put in. So I put a lot of money into the basement just for it to get ruined by a flood. That's a whole other story. But anyways, back then, when we first moved, that's another story. So my daughter, Sarah, was upstairs and we were downstairs. And then we could hear her talking up here. And she was playing in my room, my dad's bedroom, because my mom and dad never shared a room. And she was talking in my dad's room, playing and talking. Then she come down the stairs and we're like, Sarah, who were you talking to? And she's like, oh, Fufu. And me and my mom are looking at her like, what? She's like, yeah, Fufu, he's in his room. And then we're just like looking at each other, and my mom's like, well, maybe she was his favorite. Maybe he did come back to see her. My mom was like a true believer of those things. So that's one story. Then another story, my daughter thinks that it's Sarah again. Maybe Sarah sees things. I don't know. She said one time she was doing laundry downstairs and she heard my mom whisper in her ear, Sarah, but I don't know if that's true either. I've never had any of these encounters with my mom in this house. And I've lived here for 12 years now. But the one time she was down, when her room was downstairs, she had a dog named Gus. And she heard running up and down the stairs. And she thought it was Gus going up and down the stairs. She went to the stairs. There was nobody there. She went back to the room and realized Gus was in the bedroom with her. And then she got back into bed, and then she heard it all over again. The running up and down the stairs when she got back into bed. She said she threw the covers over her head, and that's where she stayed the rest of the night. Whether or not that's true. It actually happened. I don't know. But I have lived here for 12 years and I have never experienced any paranormal activity in this house as I'm talking to you in this house, and it's quiet. But no, I have not. Okay, Mom, if you're here, just don't freak me out. That's all I gotta say. I sleep in her bedroom, which isn't even more freakier than all ghetto. Well, not in her actually bed, but I have her bedroom because it's the biggest bedroom in the house. But yeah, this house is old and makes strange noises, and I think that's all Sarah heard. If you walk in this living room, you hear her thumping downstairs. And I'm pretty sure it's just because the house is old. Like I said, it's paper thin. You can hear everything in every room. I can hear people outside. I'm talking to myself right now. If my neighbors were outside, they'd probably think I'm crazy because they probably can hear me. I know you can hear whatever happens in the living room, you can hear on the porch because the porch is like directly behind me to my door that goes to the kitchen. There's actually a door that goes into the living room too, but we don't use it. We only use the kitchen door. So, yeah. It's a very small house. And paper thin. But this painting is coming along very nicely for Halloween. I try to get back into the Halloween spirit because, you know, my mother passed away. I think I've said this before. She passed away on Devil's Night, which is the day before Halloween. And Halloween has never been really the same for me ever since. I try, but I haven't really been one for Halloween. I know it's supposed to be a fun, quirky, you know, holiday. It's not even really a holiday because you don't get it off work. But like, I don't know. I take Halloween as spooky, scary. I don't like to be outside on Halloween's night by myself. I get all freaked out. I get all freaked out on a good day. Because I think I listen to too much True Crime Garage or True Crime Canada. I get all freaked out when I'm outside by myself. Like sometimes I go for coffee really early in the morning and I freak myself out because I gotta leave the house and go down there. Especially when I have the crazy neighbors that live in the shack. That I actually did a drill with me last week and I deleted it and I talked about what happened that day with them and the cops and everything. But since they've lived there, the cops have been there so much, but I haven't seen any movement there. But like I work 12 hours, so I wouldn't know. But I haven't seen any movement there. I'm starting to wonder if they're alive in there. Because I haven't seen any movement or seen them leave that place since the incident happened with the cops. And then they came back from the hospital and she was yelling and screaming at him as she's pushing him into the house like he didn't want to go in there. It was weird. I don't know who these people are, but they're kind of weird. But I have not seen them since the day I saw her pushing him in the house, which is kind of freaky. I have not seen them since that day. But that would be a whole other story. Oh, there goes the fridge. When you think you have silence at Lizzie Vape's house, it doesn't always occur that way, now does it? Yeah. I'm at 30 minutes. 30 minutes into the drill with me, and my story's already over. So I survived the weekend. It was so brutally cold in there. The doors for the freezer are still not fixed. So it's super cold in there. And I had to go. So at our work, when we're done a lot and we have too many bags that don't like make a complete box or whatever, if it's our brand of vegetables, not like name brand, we put them into the food bank, which we collect for the local food banks around this area. So because that freezer door is closed, that's closest to the food bank bin, I had to go all the way around and walk in the freezer for a little ways. And I tell you, I don't know how those forklift drivers, like, they wear snowsuits and everything in there, but I don't know how they work in there. Like, the cold just hits you right in the face, and it kind of like suffocates you a little bit. Like, it's crazy. Like, I went in there just to drop that off, and I was like, literally, I couldn't, like, it was taking away my breath. And then I get back to the door and I'm like, how do you open back the door? I started panicking because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trapped in the freezer. But no, I got out. A forklift driver just happened to drive by, and it's on a sensor, which I didn't know. Because usually there's a string that you pull to open up the door. Well, that one didn't have it. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? But it's a sensor. And he let me out. I'm like, oh, relief. But yeah, it was super cold there this weekend, and I had too many washouts, and I was getting mad because there's nothing like being wet and cold. That sucks. I thought we were going to be doing a big order of squash, but the squash wasn't coming in. It finally came in on Sunday. And of course we had a washout from onion to go to squash. And oh, I hate doing onion too, because when I leave there, all I stink like is the big old onion. It's in your hair, it's in your clothes. It's horrible. Just horrible. I hate it when we do onions. And of course, that's what I had to do on Sunday, was onion. You just want to come home after and jump right into the shower to take away the smell. And it was pretty powerful. It was kind of making me a little bit nauseous, the smell of the onions this week. Well, that particular onion. Oh, another one that really bugs me is when we do fall medley. And the red onion in that one really turns my stomach too. Makes me want to gag. The worst is mushrooms. Mushrooms stink when you're doing them in bulk. They're not so bad. Well, when they're in the Oriental mix too, you start smelling like peppers. A good day is doing corn and beans or broccoli or anything like that that doesn't smell bad. Oh, we did Brussels sprouts too, and I thought the Brussels sprouts were stinking too. We got a big order of Brussels sprouts too, and I can't stand Brussels sprouts. I don't like them. I don't know if it's because the only time I ever ate Brussels sprouts was from my mother-in-law's cooking, or whether it's just the way she cooked them why I don't like them. But yeah, I don't really care for Brussels sprouts, and I'm pretty sure they were frozen Brussels sprouts that she fed me that day. But like, they were plain Jane Brussels sprouts. I'm sure if they had some seasoning or in butter or something, they would probably taste better than how my mother-in-law fed it to us. She was very plain Jane cook. The only meal I really liked that she made was her roast beef and Yorkshire pudding, because they were British. That's the only meal that she made that I really enjoyed a lot. Her turkey dinner wasn't too bad either, but I really enjoyed Christmas at my in-laws back in the day, which I think I only spent 3 Christmases with them before I got divorced. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Maybe she's gotten better at cooking since I was married to Jason. I don't know. Maybe. I'm gonna have to see her soon for my daughter's baby shower. That's the only thing that I'm kind of dreading about my daughter having kids, is that now not so much my in-laws. I like my in-laws. They're super awesome people, and his brother's married to one of my best friends from high school. So like, I love them all. It's just my ex-husband that I don't care for. And now that my daughter's having a child, well, when birthdays roll around and everything else, I'm going to have to be in the same room with him again, which I'm not really looking forward to because I can't stand him. I have no need to talk to the man anymore because my children are big and they call their dad on their own. And what do I need to talk to him for? And he has this grudge against me that I do not know why he holds such high grudge on me. I don't know. But he's friends with all his other exes but me. Like, I don't get it. I don't get why he hates me so much. I don't know. I don't get it. He talks to his other ex-wife, but he doesn't talk to me, which I find very, very strange. I only had 2 of his children. She only had 1 of his children. But apparently he's got a new girlfriend, my daughter told me, because she went there for Thanksgiving. And apparently she looks like his old girlfriend. I'd really like to know where he's meeting all these women. It must be off of Plenty of Fish or something. Because I don't know. Crazy town. I'm just going to do this one little bit and I'll call her a day. And sorry I started off with some spooky stories and then I ended up talking about my life, which is kind of scary in its own way. Scarily boring. Oh boy. I tell you. Sometimes I think I'm silly. Oh look, I'm almost done though. kind of this section. Kind of, sorta. Done with it. I'm really enjoying this new canvas from the Pink Raspberry. Really am. It's like everybody was like all like awe and awe of the old canvas because it was so thick and stuff, and it was actually real canvas. But in order to print on it this type of paintings, it wasn't good because the ink was smearing. Like, it looked clear, but as soon as you put the glue on top, something happens. I don't know. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. But they're workable. I worked on the Mystery Diamond paintings, the old canvas, and the one from the Portugal is the old canvas too, that I honestly have not worked on in a while, but that's okay. Holy crow. Who's driving a car with a muffler like that at this time of day? What time is it? I don't even know. It's got to be still early. I'm gonna make lasagna for supper. I went to Walmart. Well, I originally went to Walmart. Oh, I got a new cover for my table. So you can see now it's different. I went for that originally because my daughter is a brat and decides that she's gonna cut my other mat that I had on the table. This table has been so, how would I say it, used well, and she's like made marks on it and stuff, so that's why I cover it with this. It's kind of like, you know, the things you put on that inside your cupboards and stuff. That's what this is. The one video my son's like, where do you film your videos? Because we don't have a table like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's in our house. He's like, we don't have a countertop like that. I'm like, it's not even a countertop. It's just a mat. I started laughing. I'm like, that's a coffee table. Because I film all my videos on my coffee table. Because my coffee table rises up like a table. You know, one of them. Yeah. Now I'm starting to bore you with nonsense. But I'm going to finish this off camera. And then I think the last section over here, I'm going to do as a time lapse while I watch. I don't know what I'm going to watch, but I'm going to watch something. I've been really into the Hallmark channel right now, but it was playing some good movies from the weekend still, but now they've stopped and that kind of bums me out. No, it's like a TV show, but maybe I'll try to see if they have an afternoon flick on. But anyways, that's it for today. My picture is coming out super good. Super, super good. And till next time, everyone, take care. Bye. Hi, everyone. Like my Halloween hat? Okay. Well, I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you like, please subscribe to my channel. I'd be super tickle pink. And remember to hit that notification bell. Lets you know whenever I upload a video. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. Till next time, bye.